Hey y'all, hey, it's me, XtinaMcCrazy on Facebook, aka XtinaMcCrazy on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads, and we are back in McCrazy's place. If it is your first time, welcome. If you are returning, thank you for the support. I am super excited about my guests that I have today, two good friends of mine, both of whom I haven't talked to in a while, so this will be especially nice. If you are a returning viewer, you may have seen them before. They were on an episode with me where we played an escape game, but this time I'm bringing them on for the conversation and the normal programming so that we can chat a little more rather than play. If you watch that episode, you know that I referred to them as unicorns. And the reason why is because those who know me know that I currently and for the last, I don't know, however many years, have worked in education. And both of these people are people that I met in that field. And so they are both Black male teachers, but not just Black male teachers, Black male math teachers, which if you work in education, you know how, I won't say rare, but it ain't common. That is. So with no further ado, my first guest I met while working in private school. And actually, I didn't like him at first. I think I told you that story, Tony. I didn't like him at first. And then very suddenly we clicked, and he has been one of my best friends since. Love him, love his wife, love his daughter, love the family. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my very good friend, Tony Bowers.
Hello,
Hi, Tony.
I felt the same way. I was like, who is this lady sending me 12 emails in 42 minutes?
Well, you should have answered.
That's why I didn't answer.
That's why I didn't like you, because you wouldn't answer my emails.
Sorry, y'all. Starting off hot. Hi, y'all. Hi. Because you want to put me out there at the beginning. I feel like it's reciprocation. That's how this works.
That's fair. That's fair. And after I left the private school space, I moved into the charter school space where I met my next guest, who is, again, like I said, also a Black male math teacher, but also works in administration as well in middle school of all things.
God bless you.
Middle school ain't that bad. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my very good friend, Barrett Warden.
Hello, hello. Introductions are weird. Happy to be here. Middle school is terrible, but for the same reasons as why it's incredible. It's the double-edged sword.
Yes, and that's what I meant. That's why I was like, well, it's not that bad because they're funny. I'm sorry, but they're funny.
They
are. Have you ever been in a class with 20 of them, and they all just, they're my babies, but also too.
Because both of you, Tony, when I met you, you were teaching middle school.
6th grade. Actually, no. 6th grade advisory, teaching 8th grade. Yeah. But I taught.
You were teaching 8th grade math.
All the way up to 12. And so now that I have it my way, love my middle schoolers, but I'm staying in high school.
You said, but I love you, but I love you from a distance.
Absolutely. Come talk to me if you need to. I'll give you a hug.
Oh, come on, Barrett. You're the one sitting next to me at graduation, and we're both trying to pretend like we don't have a little tear. Come on now.
That's a fact. I just got invited to another Keen's Day. I'm in the families now.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah, you get invited to Kingsbury. Yeah, you there.
I get invited to Keen's Day. I've been invited to bat mitzvahs, but it's funny. Both bat mitzvahs I've been invited to were Asian kids. It's lit. It's exciting.
That's interesting.
One adopted and one, her mom is Japanese and her dad is Jewish.
Makes sense.
Interesting. Okay. But Barrett's being modest because he's trying to say now he's in with the family. Me and Barrett ain't worked on the same campus it's been at least over a year. And the kids were like, oh yeah, he was with us in elementary school. He's Daddy Warden. Them kids been calling him Daddy for years. So I don't know what he's talking about. Now he's in with the families.
Ooh, not Daddy. Ooh.
That was one of the things I had to check in. I'm like, hey, does your mom know you're saying this?
Because
if your mom knows you're saying this, I'm okay with it. But
because yes,
you got to check in with this.
Because the way this could be misconstrued.
The first thing I thought was ooh, liability. Jesus, almighty.
Straight up, for real.
What was that group name? Oh, what was it? Nexium, something like that. And this is what they used to do. Like whoever the people were that were a part of the group, like they called the guy that owned it daddy.
Oh, a cult? Is it one of them cults?
It wasn't necessarily a cult. It was like a social. I saw the documentary on Hulu. I can't remember the name of it, but
it sounds a little culty.
I will say it wasn't. It was just dad, no extra syllable.
Okay, that is fair. Okay, all right. See the difference? Two letters,
slightly less pedo sounding.
That's 100% less.
2 letters makes the difference. Crazy. Dad versus daddy. That's who.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's start here. And I don't know that I necessarily know this completely about you guys. So I introduced you both as unicorns. You both know why. I've told you both that. You guys both know how not common Black male math teachers are. So can you guys each tell me how you ended up here? How did it happen? How did you either decide or happen to become math teachers, of all things?
You're not wrong about that. Barrett, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first? It's up to you.
I can start because I feel like I've recently been in spaces where I like have to talk about my journey and all of that good stuff now.
Don't say journey like that.
But that's how they frame it, you know?
Yeah, but I didn't like the way you said it.
Well,
it sounded very administrative.
It's a 2020. I've been in these spaces now, so it's in the administrative spaces. So I'll skip the road to education, right? Because that's a whole different road. But so my first like real school that I was in, it was like everybody else noticed me as like the math person, and it kind of just like happened. Me, here I am thinking, oh, I love to write. Like I would love to focus on ELA and all this. And they're like, Miss Parker, shout out to Miss Parker. She looked at me and she's like, you're the math man, right? I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll take that. Come this, then I'm in the situation where for all the for all the 5th grade teachers, I'm the math person for that. Then we had, situations, teachers leave in the middle and come back, leave in the middle and come back, and all of that good stuff. And so now I'm running math for all the different classes, and it just kind of like fell in my lap. And then through that, people seen me, and I was recruited to come up to the middle school. I was able to move up and move into like a math position, and then it kind of caused me to reflect back on my memory. And it wasn't that I never considered like math as like my strong subject, but it was always very easy for me. And so in theory, like it was my strong subject, but I didn't really like, I was,
you didn't think nothing of it.
I wasn't trying too hard. I was just doing what I needed to do to skate by. I was getting high grades when it was like, when people doubted me, that's when I would get like 100 because they thought I couldn't.
Right.
And then I realized how weird math teachers were. And once I realized how weird and strange math teachers were, I was like, oh, okay. Like, so I can't leave. Like, I can't leave this because I see what the other options are. And the other options were bad.
What? Oh my God.
And it just so happened, I'll pop into another class and I see stuff and I'm like, that's not right. Or you see something else and that's not right. And just being able to like talk to them in different ways. I could always like connect with the kids. And it just so happened, it was like I just kind of fell into it, and math was the thing that I was best at, and I could break it down and make it simple enough to where everybody could get it, from the lowest student in the class or to the student who is 3 grade levels above, and we're trying to work on something forward. I can't do high school though because I can't do calculus. So
neither can I, and I'm still teaching high school. That's not true. I can't do calculus. Do I want to do it? No. but I can't do
I'm sure I could teach it to myself again. But man, that's the worst.
I've determined, and I mean, we'll see where we go. Maybe it'll be somewhere in the future, but I've kind of determined that pre-calc is probably the highest I'll ever teach. Just because, actually, I'll let you finish and then we can talk about it. Let me not cut you off.
I think that's mine. In terms of math, it just fell into my lap. And again, you see what's out there, and you're like, oh, like y'all need me.
You know what? When you said math teachers are weird, I was like, huh? And then I thought back, and I have met some strange math teachers.
Weird.
Now that I actually think about it, some of them are quite strange.
Yeah, a lot of them. I've had this conversation just like talking to teachers, especially math teachers. Because Barrett, I agree with you. I'm not the typical math teacher, and I feel like I actually have a little bit of personality. I'm not like, how do I say this? I don't mean to be offensive, but like out there. Like so many math teachers I know, like I feel like they understand their core competency, like they understand math. And because they understand math, they leave everything else behind. But I think a true teacher needs to have two different points. You need to have your competency as far as what you're teaching, but I think you also have to have a skill to take the information you have, synthesize it, and then pass it to your students. So I feel like a lot of math teachers are really good on the first side. Like I know math all the way through. I can do Calc BC, multivariable, integral, whatever the case may be. But then they really, I don't want to say struggle, but they are lacking in the idea of, okay, I know how to do this. How do I take it and then give it to my students so that they can understand it? So very similar fashion to you, Barrett. I was like, almost down to the T. It's kind of crazy how similar our stories are. I didn't plan on being on education at all. I was going to school originally for psychology. I was going to go be a psychologist, listen to people, listen to their problems all day, give them hugs and tears and cry and do all that stuff, right? I sat down in the psychologist's office one day. I was like, well, if this is something I want to do, I should probably intern or figure it out, right? I sat down with somebody one day for 6 hours. And some of the stories that I heard, I said, oh, there's no way I can do this, because the transference of things that you hear about is a very real thing. And I just know me, I'm not strong enough to be able to take somebody else's life stuff on top of dealing with all my own stuff, right? And so I got really good in college at doing math. I was the kid kind of opposite of you. I sucked at math when I was growing up. Like I got to trig pre-calc and I was like the superstar, because I never thought I was going to get to trig pre-calc, right? I knew algebra 2 was it. I was like, I'm making it to algebra 2 and I'm going to get a C and I'm good to go. Everything else was an A. Math was always a C. And it was from the time I want to say I was like maybe 5th grade on up, right? And so I said, you know what, maybe I should just take the skills that I've learned and maybe I can just continue helping people, because that is one of my biggest drivers of life, is to help as many people as I can. And so I started initially in a charter school as a tutor, moved up pretty quickly to like the guy that was running the tutoring program. They ended up being like the head tutor over 5 or 6 different locations. And then they said, oh, you really have a knack at this teaching thing. Do you want to like hop in and start teaching classes? And I was like, I can try. And so that led to me kind of getting my first teaching gig, which then led me to, excuse me, public school and doing that whole deal, which then led me to private school, which is where I am now, and same exact idea. I think a lot of the kids I deal with or interact with, we vibe because I'm not weird. Like if I'm being completely honest,
just a little bit. Everybody's a little,
right? We're all weird, but I think, yeah, because I think especially being a math teacher, there's a level of nerdiness that you're going to have just irregardless, because you are a math teacher. Like there are just subjects and things I can talk about that I just can because I'm a math teacher, right? But I also will go and have complete conversations about cars and like watches and like all these things that are relevant to the kids. And they know, how do you know this? And I'm like, because I read and I learn and I do things too, right? It isn't so much, I'm not in my math bubble. And I feel like a lot of, like I said, math teachers specifically, I can't talk about the other ones, but math teachers, all the ones I know, like they are very math bubble people. What is that? Remember, and Christine, you can help me with this. What was the movie? There was a guy, was it The Boy Who Lived in the Bubble? Is that what it was? Is that the name of the movie? I don't know. But it was a boy who lived in the bubble. He was like allergic to outside air, so he had to live in the bubble, and his parents were always like afraid of him going out and like doing the stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Bubble Boy, like the super comedy with
Bubble Boy, whatever it was.
But it was based on, there was a real person. The comedy was based on, there was actually a situation.
Right. And so I feel like math teachers, that's what it is. Like they're so in that bubble that they can't get out and see all the stuff that's going on. Right.
Do you think they're kind of like computer, like, you know how incels don't know how to people? Do you think it's kind of akin to that?
I think so. This is the thing. And like I said, it's no shot. I think some of them are too smart for their own good. Like, I think I think they're at such a high math level that because they're that high up there, a lot of social cues and a lot of social skills and things that like we use as normal people have kind of been left to the wayside because of their ability, you know, to computate, which is great. Like I said, it's an amazing. I mean, I have a teacher I work with. This lady is one of the most brilliant math people I've ever met in my life, but she also struggles sometimes with like just being normal. And so for me, I was just like, I don't really want to be that. Like, I want to let me go teach you pre-calc, but then like let's go talk about like the Cowboys game or like the Raiders or whoever, like, and let's like have that conversation, right? And being able, because that's the bridge that you need to be able to help the babies get to where they want to get to. So same fashion, like I said, I got into it, didn't really know that this was what I was going to do, and this is year 15 for me. So clearly, I like it.
Yeah. And you're good at it. Both of you have that same. The kids love you. It just is. The kids just love you. To many people's chagrin, Tony.
You know, I can't, you know, I can't say things that I want to say because I'm being nice because we on the internet. But do you know I still have, you know, I
feel like I haven't been able to heal properly because I haven't been able to let it out the way that I really wanted to.
You sound like me. I'm like, if I ever had a chance, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
Man.
I still have kids hit me up from that school, and they still tell me like, how much they miss me and how much I was like their favorite math teacher, and about like how they have math confidence now, and about how nobody's taught them the way, like all those things, right? And
have you been invited to any more of the senior exhibitions?
Well, no, because let me see. None of them are old enough to do it. I did get invited, like I said, to the middle school ones. And everybody wanted me to go to those. And I was like, sorry, folks, like, I can't show up. No, we need you to be there. Sorry, folks, I can't show up. They don't need to know why.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yep. So, but I mean, I've been invited quite a few times to a bunch of different things. And I'm just like, okay. But once again, I mean, I think when you do what you do with kids and you really put them at the forefront, they see that and they, you know, they feel valued, you know, in the classroom.
Yeah. I love that. You guys are both kid favorites. I've seen it. I've watched it. I've seen you guys interact with the kids. I've seen the kids love on y'all.
I steal their energy. That's what's able to keep me going. And I tell them that. Like I definitely steal energy from y'all.
I had the energy I had. Like y'all got, man, I'd be running this world, but I'm like, I need y'all to invigorate me.
Well, right. But you also both have littles that you get your energies from too. So
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
So there's that. So the other question I was going to ask you, Tony, so in addition to working in education within the last, has it been a year? It's been over a year now, yeah?
Yep, almost 2. It'll be in August.
Almost 2 years ago, my friend Tony decided that he wanted to make wine. And so Tony has a line of wine. It's called Aje, A-J-E. Super cute how you came up with the name. It's his initial, his wife's initial, and his daughter's initial, the first initial of each of their names.
Cool.
Do you want to plug your wine, Tony? Actually, oh no. So I said I had questions. That's why I'm bringing up the wine.
Okay.
Are you available in stores yet?
So we have 3 retail locations right now. So first of all, if any of you guys are in California, so 1010 Wines in Inglewood, California, super black hub of black wine. Everything that is in there is either black owned or black made or woman made. And so super dope. And every single sort of cross sectionality you can have within that. And so 1010
for those who don't know, 1010 is a wine bar in Inglewood.
Yeah.
Okay. Made somebody mad. Yep. So that's Tintin Wine. Second place is up in Sacramento. It's called Tap Wine Bar. We just entered into agreement about a month ago, so they also hold all of our products. And then last but not least, my local city, so in Santa Clarita, there's a place here called Newhall Press Room. They also hold all three of my wines too. They're like a local wine bar shop, a little bit more artisan. And so those are the three. We have plans to
see. I was asking for like going to the store and buying wine, but you're being served up.
Yeah, and so they'll go in, they'll pour, you do the whole thing. What you're asking about should be happening pretty soon, but I have to be quiet about it. But I am talking to a major retailer, and we're going to have that conversation and figure it out.
It's just because I was thinking about it the other night when I was pouring my glass of wine for the other podcast, and I was like, oh, if I could get a bottle of Auger for when I'm on Sunday, but I didn't. I was like, I don't think they're in retail stores yet. I would have to order online, and I don't know if it would get here in time.
Girl, you act like I will not drive, please.
Oh, well. But your schedule, come on now. You know your schedule is shit.
But no, it is absolutely insane, and I still would have figured out a way to get that bottle out there. I don't care about that. Please.
I should have thought about it. You know what, guys? I can call the owner and get us a bottle.
you know that matters here in LA. I know the owner of the place.
I know the owner.
What it is, I'll take it.
Right. Yeah, so that's that. Like I said, we'll be in some retail locations. We just started small with like kind of the artisanal places. Just because I am maybe to what some people do or don't believe. I'm a little picky about who carries my wine. Like I need you to have a certain feel, a certain look, a certain way you present yourself. Because that's how my company presents themselves. Like we're not just out here just dealing with anybody. We want to deal with the best, right? So the people that we've currently picked, the folks that we're in drawing up contracts and dealing with now, they're all the top of what they're doing in a certain or a specific way. So
I like it. I like it.
I can only speak to 1010, and I enjoy that place. Nice,
so
nice vibe in there, just through and through.
Yeah, the only times I've been there was when I was invited by this guy, and he did his what was it? Your grand opening. You're coming out.
Mm-hmm. The release party there. There was like after we did the final count, I think there was something like 600 people that walked through the doors.
Damn, really?
It was a lot of people. I didn't realize it was that many people at the time, but now that I kind of think back and look back, I'm like, well, yeah, it kind of makes sense because there were waves of people. It would be really, really crazy.
Because it's small, but like
right.
We were cycling in and out because we didn't even hang around. We stayed, we ate, we drank wine, came out and supported you, and then we left.
Right. And then after you guys left, there were still so many people that I know that showed up. I was like, look at the community showing up for me. Thank you. Because I was terrified. There's nothing more, at least in the business world, like opening up and saying like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is ours. And like, you don't know if people are going to receive you. You don't know if people are going to like you. And so to have the first day open and have that many people. And like I said, we'll be 2 years in August and we've done some crazy stuff already, and we're not, like I said, we're not even 2 years old yet. And so, yeah.
And so when you released and when I last knew, you had 3 wines, but did I see online that you now have a 4th?
So right now we make Tempranillo, Port, and Zinfandel. Fingers crossed if everything does what it needs to do in my barrels, and if all things align and it's not a crap show like sometimes wine can be. This year we're supposed to release 3 more. So that's like I said, that's if everything in the bottle goes right, and because that's the other side. Like this is my baby, my brand. I'm not just gonna put stuff out to make money.
Yeah, not just to do it.
Yeah, no, and I know a lot of big wine houses. That's what they choose to do because that's how they operate. But we're artisanal. Like we make stuff to be kept, to be had, to be enjoyed, and so
you just want to be fancy.
It's
you always been a little bougie. You just want to be fancy.
I'm bougie. You know this. Why are we acting like we don't know this? Yes, and absolutely. And so Auger has to represent the same exact thing. It's the same exact reason why I have matte black bottles. Because part of like I am bougie. I want it to look good. I want it to feel good. But I also want it to be about community and about like folks coming together. Other than food, wine typically is a thing that people come together and share and have those communal events with. And especially in our community, Black folks, we gotta get better around being more in tune with each other. And so one of the reasons we started AJ was this idea of bringing community back together. Because I'm so sick of like, I don't know, I'm sick of us not enjoying each other anymore for whatever the reasons may be. And so I was like, you know what? Yeah. So yeah, like I said, three new coming soon. I'll send you some stuff once I let you know, but I actually will have a good idea.
I know the owner, guys. I'm getting wine.
Yes. I will send you a sample pack.
It'll be like the little shooters you get, like when you do little liquor store shooters.
The little like a little one glass little guys.
Yep.
Yep.
And then Warden, I think I read recently that you guys swept March Madness.
Oh yeah, we nice, man. We a sports school now. We like Duke. Nah, but it is really cool because like you've seen the kids who came through the school. Like when I started that basketball team, and I tell this story, but it's like a very real thing. There was a kid, he took the ball, he just grabbed it and threw it behind his head, like to the basket. That was how he took a shot. And I was so happy because at least you did something. Like we spent 2 years getting like a scoreboard turned off every game, like not scoring, not doing anything. It was so bad. And then all of a sudden we start to build this thing. And then we got some true hoopers in. And so we were able to, we didn't just, and our girls team wasn't even incredible, but we have some athletes. And our boys team beat by 60 points, I think. And they said, and I said, it's good that y'all put the pressure on them. And they said, we ain't even played them for real.
See, middle school kids, you got to love
middle school child. Woo. Yeah, we do all that. Okay.
Now we're heading into my baby, which is track and field. We got our first meet tomorrow. That's another one. We're
are they
small.
Ready?
We got 100 some odd kids, and we've gone out and we've beat the brakes off some of these schools with 1,000 kids. This year we're top heavy. We're kind of thin on the boys department. We're top heavy and then not much in the middle. Our girls have some. We should be able to get some real great performances out of the girls. It's not going to be the season that it was last year because we just, I don't know. Let's say we lost like 5 great runners and then we just didn't bring back anything. Or not bring back, but we didn't nobody moved up. And so we'll have some like that'll really compete on a day-to-day basis, but it's not going to be like across the board. But I think it'll be good. We'll get some surprise performances. I love the reason why. I mean, I ran track in college. I played basketball my whole life, but I ran track in college. And the reason that I liked track so much for my school and I became so attached to it is because they couldn't hoop. They weren't good at a sport. And I said, you can at least run. You can run, you can jump. Yep. And whether you might not be great yet, but you can at least go. And in this, you're just competing against yourself. You're just competing against the clock. We got one runner who I think he came in last on every meet last year, except for the last one. But for him, he knew I'm not here to race against them. I'm here to race against myself and my time. And I want to drop my time throughout the year. And for that reason, he was the hardest working kid. He just didn't have athletic ability at the moment. But then we gave him that and he had, a way to have a community and just a way to start competing with himself in that. And so I love it. I love it for our kids.
I love that for you guys.
We'll see what it looks like tomorrow.
Go ahead, Coach.
I love that for you guys.
I hate when I start to talk about sports because I feel like I'm so used to the places that care about sports over education, and I'm like, that's not us. But it's more exciting. People get latched on easier to that.
But you can do both. It makes for well-rounded individuals, and you're teaching that. Look at the kid that you just said who was coming in last and all of that. You're teaching him some serious life things there. You finish what you start.
Absolutely.
Look, he completed every time, even if he came in last.
Every time he
finished.
knew, he just like, I just want to get better. I want to get better for myself. Like,
See?
I'm not worried
And
about
that
it.
matters too. That's
I'm not running a
the
5-minute mile. I'll do my 8-minute mile and I'll be happy with it. Because next week I'll do a 750.
see,
Mm-hmm.
that matters too.
That's the win, though. It's not even necessarily, I think in our times, I think we put so much focus on winning that we forget about improvement.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like we could, if you focus
Or just building skill.
yes, eventually what happens is you become a winner. Like that is just the natural progression of getting better.
That's part of the speech.
Yeah, I think we're just so concerned with like if I'm not on the podium, like I haven't done my job, and it's like, but no, because look at what you did last week versus this week versus maybe what you'll do next week. If there's growth there, there's growth there. We've won.
Yep.
And it's very similar in the math world too, Last week you couldn't add. Now we can do 1 digits. Let's do 2 digits, and we just and the next thing you know, oh my God, we're doing calculus. It's the same.
You can see the progression. And for me, I say that I'll give that speech, in terms of going against yourself, in terms of, maybe you're not the most skilled, but you're competing against yourself and you're looking at the time. But I also give that speech on the other side where you're racing some kids and you are beating them. Don't slow down just because you're winning. Like, you still need to go through because there's somebody else in a different league who gonna beat you.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Y'all see these unicorn shit and rainbow shit over here?
Oh man.
Smells like marshmallows.
Nuggets. Huh?
Smells like marshmallows.
Ooh, it's glittery. Oh my God. That's awesome. Okay, so what's next? What are we looking for? We're coming to the end of the year. Spring break will be here before you know it. What's next? What are plans for the summer? Are we sticking to where we're at for the new year? What are we doing?
Trying to carve out some fun for the summer. Trying to carve out something. Last year we were able to get away and we went to Trinidad. I would love to say and Tobago, but we didn't make it across to the other island. We didn't get to Tobago. We just did Trinidad. But we're in the midst of trying to plan that out. Like, I take such few days off of school, or that like for like those, when you're able to carve out a week or something, or even for me, it's like I'm not from California. I could go to Santa Barbara for a few days and like, oh, this is beautiful. This is new. This is something different. Just trying to get outside. I love like the school year. It burns me down in the fact of like, you're just not just inside, but like you're locked in, you're doing this. It's a job. Like, you're doing the job. But a job that you can't like leave. Like, even when you are able to leave work at work, school just somehow like follows. It's like ever lingering. But try to get some fun. Going back to the same school, trying to work out what everything the role's gonna look like, because you know how it go.
I do.
And do.
As my youngin gets a little older, just making sure that putting him in things and bringing him outside, bringing him to different experiences and different things. My mom just moved back to Jersey, so I'm very excited to go back home. I haven't been back home for not a funeral in like 5 years, because I'm not trying to go home and stay at an Airbnb. I'm trying to go to the crib, or at least have access to the crib.
Right.
Yeah, I don't do much.
Love that. Are you and the wifey thinking of giving the youngin a sibling?
We be talking about it. He asks for it every day.
Oh, really?
He'll just say, I'm a big brother. I'm a big brother. He wants a sister.
How old is he now? 3?
He's 3. Yeah, he's 3. Trying to line it up. It's like there's a bunch of people around who are either considering a first or a second child. And so it's like, yo, why don't everybody just do it at the same time?
Oh, dang. Okay.
Really build this community because I know from my wife, like it was lonely. Like once I went back to work, I wasn't around. It was lonely. She was beat. She put in all the work. She was lonely, and she's like, I don't want to go through that part again.
Okay.
So, but again, there's enough people like who are close and like really close and looking for either their first or their second. That it could be fantastic. Her sister, and her partner who would do the carrying actually said like, "Oh, I want twins." And I'm like, "Well, you better have twins then." I've never met a woman who wants twins. And so for her to say she wants twins, I'm like, "Yo, you got to lean into it."
You want twins, but do you have twins money? Because the way twins be twinning, absolutely not.
Dude, I was even thinking
anybody got even one kid money in 2025.
Yeah, that's no. So, to answer your question, I'm planning on going back to my school this year, unless maybe some admin positions can become available. See, I'm trying to get.
I know you've been trying to get into admin for a minute.
Yes, I've been working and trying to get into admin, and I think I may have found a couple places. We'll see if it works. I don't really have my skin in the game. If it does, it do. If it don't, it don't. Because I like where I work. And then I kind of already know what my classes are going to be next year, and my classes are beautiful and they're going to be easy because I've already have all 3 of them pre-planned. So next year is going to be a very chill year for me.
How do you already have next year pre-planned? Damn, this year isn't done yet.
Because teachers. See, I'm not like you guys. I'm finishing. This is my last week of spring break, so I go back to school on Monday. We had 2 weeks off.
Oh, okay.
We're also ahead of the game too. Our school, we're doing we're putting up another side. Like we're building more of our school. We're going to go to the other side and start building that and doing that. So our school year is much more short this year, and so everything is just kind of like been squished together. And so we got out pretty early. And, most folks around here, next week is spring break. Same thing with my baby. Her spring break is next week. And so, so I'm going back to school, finish these last 6 weeks, get it done. I'm excited because the classes that I'm teaching next year, I've already taught. So I already have all the curriculum done. I have all the planning done already. There's not much this year for me for those classes will be me putting in like the little pieces that make it excellent versus just being like a normal class, right? To that point, I know we've had this conversation, Miss McCrazy. We are expecting number 2. And so I'm really excited about that and also terrified.
How's E?
Oh, she's through the roof. She's gonna be well, very similar to what Bear was saying. She's been asking for at least a couple years now. She's 6. So a couple years like, am I ever going to be a big sister? Am I ever going to be a big sister? We're like, we'll see if it happens. Like, whatever. And then we kind of like started talking about it. I was like, why do you care so much about being a big sister? She's like, Daddy, everybody at school has a baby brother or a baby sister but me. And like said it with some attitude. I was like, bro, thanks for the pressure. Like, I appreciate it. Dang. Like,
you guys are behind. Step it up.
Apparently. Right. And so, November of this year, or excuse me, the end of October, maybe early November, we'll see, somewhere around there. Number 2 will be out here, and we're trying to figure out, like, since we have a 6-year-old, we don't have a stroller anymore, we don't have diapers anymore, we don't have cars, we don't have none of that anymore. So I'm like, it's literally like we're starting over.
Yeah.
Which is fun for me though too, because I am excited about Kid 2. We've been talking about it for a while, and it's nice to finally be here and let Kid do what he or she is going to do. I hope it's a he though, because I need a boy, but. I'm a girl already, so I'm good, but I need a boy.
Yeah, no, you're just scared that if you get another little girl, you're gonna have to be wrapped around 2 pinky fingers.
And I can't be around 2. Like, it's too much. And that's all right. Like, I already got 1. Like, dang, like I can't be around 2 pinkies. I'm never gonna win.
And we know it. She's over there running stuff. So
Girl, my child is the most child CEO boss of all kids that I've ever met in my life. Like, some of the stuff I'm just like, I don't understand. I was talking the other day and I was like, Ellie, like, why do you act like this? She's like, I don't know, Daddy. It's just how I am. And I was just like, oh my God.
I love that friggin' kid.
Oh my God. She is the most CEO.
She's going to be a great big sister, though.
I agree. I do. I think she's going to be an amazing big sister. I think she's going to be, like the help that we need. You know, because the reality of it is, like, you know, me and the wife are a little bit older now, and you know, like we're going to take care of the baby, but eventually there'll come a time where, you know, like your job as big sister is to, you know, come in and do the things. And so, yeah, like,
nah,
I think
it's going to be like them TikTok videos you see where the kid takes the baby and be like, this is my baby.
Like, we out.
Yeah, I'm going outside. Not with your baby. Yes, I am. Like, yep, I agree. That's going to be her.
Cool. You got it. You right. I don't even know why I questioned you.
Why did I say anything to you? Like, I should have just known my place and not said nothing. I'm sorry. Like,
Daddy, don't touch my baby.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know it's going to be bad. I really do. Like the day she sees him.
You were saying it. Daddy, don't touch my baby.
Yep. Daddy, why is my baby in your arms? First of all. My baby. No, it's not. It's my little brother.
What did you contribute to this baby?
Right. Last I checked, half of you was me. Chill.
Did you switch from white to red?
I absolutely did.
I noticed that too. I liked it. I seen that.
Not y'all calling out the smooth switcher. It's because it's good. Okay, look. I'm not plugging a particular company. This is not what I'm doing. But like I said, I already talked to you about this. If y'all have never had this, make sure you go get this Hatcher Malbec. It is one of the best Malbecs I've ever had in my entire life. Like ever. And it's not expensive. I think it's like $30. It's pretty cheap.
Malbecs are my favorite, but then I kind of ran into where it's like the ones I was getting just stopped being as good.
Yeah, but you know why? Because for whatever reason, and I don't know about Malbec and why this is. Actually, it's almost the same way, kind of like with Pinot Grigio. Like everybody makes them and they're garbage because nobody makes them right. So when you find a good one, you hold on to that good one. Right? And so the Hatcher, Barrett, I'll get your stuff after. I'll send you a picture so you can get. Like it is so good. Like it is so good all the time. Like every single time I've had it, it's been fantastic. Mm-hmm. Plus, you know, right at this point, it's after 5 o'clock, so now I get to switch over because
now it's not day drinking.
Yes, exactly, it's not day drinking anymore. We're done with bubbles. Now it's time to.
I mean, but you're on spring break, so who's judging?
Which is why I, you know, day drinking is fun because spring break. So we just sit at home and drink wine and run around the kid all day. It's great.
Well, I mean, don't get too much better than that.
I really don't. Like these are the days like, this is great. Like, she's been running around all day with me too. I'm like, can't ask for nothing more. Really can't.
I always take Tony's wine recommendations because he actually even knows how picky I am because we used to go and drink after work. So
and when we were in the land that shall not be named.
I still call it the plantation.
Oh my God,
the plantation to me.
We would just go and, you know, especially too because at that time I had to commute, so it was like 2 hours to get home from, you know, where we were working. I was like, heck no. So we would go sit and drink and, you know, chit chat and do that whole deal. And it was like, yeah. So it's funny, like the more you sit around people and learn them, the more you learn their palate. And so that's why I recommended to you earlier. Like I know you will like this. Like I just every time I drink it, I'm like, absolutely, this is right up like where she lives.
So now I know what my next bottle needs to be before I get my delivery from the owner of the AJ.
Oh, the owner. Ooh.
All right. Let's see. We talked about serious stuff. Let me see what kind of bullshit we could talk about.
Because you won't catch me on a good side now because I'm just now starting to get a little wine in. So
oh boy. Yep. And he then took off his glasses too.
Because I couldn't see. How you have glasses and can't see with them?
That's what I was just gonna ask.
I hate them. I hate them with the. I should wear them, but they bug me. And so they gotta go.
New prescription?
No, I've just always been like that. Like I should wear. I don't like. So I try to keep my glasses really, really clean. But even if you keep glasses clean, there's still like that
glare.
Yeah, like
I have a glare right now.
Yeah, like, and I cannot stand that. And so to go off because I'm like, this is gonna drive me crazy. I can't do it. No.
Oh no! Here's my favorite. When you can see the light.
Oh, when you can see the ring light in the glasses.
In the glasses. Oh yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. That's why if you ever notice on all podcasts, I move my head around so much because I'd be like,
so that you don't hit the light.
If there's not a glare, there's the friggin' circles in my reflecting in my glasses. It's annoying as hell.
I believe.
But if I take them off, I can't see. So.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's the wife's problem. She blind too, and actually my baby too. They both blind. I'm like, oh, y'all can't see
but
it.
her little pink glasses are so cute.
The moment she got them things, I was like, once again, CEO. Here we go. From the day the little girl's been born, I'm like, you are being crafted into the next CEO of Microsoft. I don't know, CEO or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
his baby had to get glasses, and she picked out the bright pink. Tony
bright
was like,
pink, what are they called? Cat eye glasses?
mm-hmm.
She's like, you don't notice these.
Yeah.
And put them on and then gave me puppy dog eyes and said, Daddy, please. And I said, no, they're too grown. And then my wife looked at me and said, she's getting them. Oh, really? You paying for them? Yes, I am. Okay, well, I guess she's getting them then. Fine. I lost. Okay.
That's when the CEO and the COO team up, and that's it. You just a worker.
So these are the things that I'm worried about. I'm like, if I end up having another girl, I'm beyond cooked. I'm done.
Well, not only that, all the women in the house and just you. You done.
Thank you. I'm never gonna win a thing ever again.
You're done.
Right. But then I guess when I get old, there'll always be someone there to take care of
you.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, Ellie was gonna do that anyway because she's in charge. So
absolutely. And she don't play about her daddy.
So you didn't have to worry about that. She was gonna take care of you.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, let's go. I'm ready now. Let's do these extra questions because Barrett, she about to come with some foolishness. So prepare yourself.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We already kind of went into it. Let me see, because the only thing that be on my mind right now is the fact that, like I said, there's a lot of racial tension going on and a lot of talk of segregation and things of that nature. And I just need everybody to know I'm not like them.
Well, part of you is like them, but
No. No. I can draw on it if I need to, which I hate with a fucking passion. My sister and I were actually talking about it the other day. I was like, damn it. I said, I hate it when sometimes like I'll say something and I just hear my mama's voice come out of my mouth. I hate it.
Same thing with me.
I hate it.
My dad's not a white woman, but there are things that he says.
Are you sure?
Pretty positive.
Pretty sure.
I'm just like, oh, that's my dad. Dang.
Oh.
And it always ends up being like with the little one, like she'll say something and I'll say something back to her and I'm like, ew, that is my father. And I just like, I instantly know it too. I'm like, oh, but it's fine.
No, usually with me, it's I'm in a mood and I don't think before I speak and some bullshit comes out my mouth and then I'd be like, ew.
Oh God,
I didn't like that. That was very white woman. I didn't like that.
There you go. No, I agree. Did you I don't know, you guys are not in private school anymore, but so there are two. I just got a text a couple days ago about this. There are two like main basically people of color conferences that happen in private school. You have PLCC, which is the People of Color Conference, and the SDLC, which is Student Diversity Leadership Conference, right? These are the big two.
Are they still having those?
No, they're not. Actually, I want to give me 1 second. I'm gonna read this to you. I'm just starting this because I can. Because at this point, who cares?
No, but that was where I was leading into because we work in schools. So, Barrett, I asked at the meeting the other day if we knew what was going to be happening with funding for the new year because our school motto: we ain't giving up the DEI. So
yeah,
right.
So are we gonna get funding?
That's a real.
No, and so that's the thing, right? Let me read this to you. So it says the board, whoever that is. Well, we know who that is, but whatever. The board has made the difficult decision to not hold the People of Color Conference and the Student Diversity Leadership Conference in 2025. Given the rapidly expanding political and legal landscape, we are taking this time to reassess the conferences. We are doing so as part of a broader strategic planning process we are undertaking to help guide all of our work, including our efforts to support schools' inclusion and belonging goals.
How are you supporting inclusion and belonging goals?
By killing the conferences that allow you to do that.
And the students of color look forward to POCC every year. They talk about it every year. I remember.
Very bullshit.
When I got that, it was a screenshot that, like I said, one of my other black teachers from the school sent me. She was like, "Look at this," and I was like, "This is crazy." She sent me that, and I was just like, and here we go. So to answer your question, Miss McCrazy, I'm down for the segregation. Y'all leave me alone. Since y'all want to be this way and y'all want to be extra and be crazy, once again, I just need to know who made the greens. I need to know who made the mac and cheese. Am I eating smothered pork chops or am I eating fried pork chops? That's all I care about. And where's the Coca-Cola coming from? Is it from Mexico?
Personally, I like it when they're fried and smothered, but
right. I mean, that's the real one. Fry them first and then smother them in gravy. Amen. But yeah, I'm absolutely like at this point. And
please make sure the Coke doesn't come from Atlanta because we don't want it made out of Lake Lanier water.
No, we need no. I mean, if we're being completely honest, since we about us and about everybody that is close to how we operate, you need to get that Coca-Cola from Mexico. Yeah. Coke in Mexico is the best Coke on the planet.
The best.
Had it everywhere.
I'm with it. I'm really not opposed to it as long as it's made anywhere but in Atlanta. So
yeah, well, Atlanta, we love you. I ain't got nothing to say about that.
No, I read recently that 70% of Coca-Cola products water comes from Lake Lanier. That's why Dasani tastes the way it does, because y'all drinking fucking ancestors and shit.
Literally. Absolutely, literally. Yeah. So all that to say, I'm down. Just let me have my. I'm. What it is I'm over the ruse of people trying to act like people care about you when they really don't. When all they do is care about their belief, their agendas, and how they get to move forward.
That's a fact.
I'm sick of it. And so, like, if that's where we like end with all this, and that's what it's going to be, it's not that what does that mean? We rocking with Mark because you rocking with us. That is where I live now. You rocking with us because you see the value in what we bring and you want to operate and vibe with us. Cool, but like you want to be one of them weirdos. You can
now see me over here, and y'all keep talking about my affliction, but I've been saying forever, stop inviting motherfuckers to the cookout. I grew up with them motherfuckers. I already know. You don't want them coming over there.
No.
Stop inviting motherfuckers to the cookout.
well, they can't be invited. They're segregated. Don't walk over here. See, because this is the other side that I think is going to happen too. If something like that crazy were to actually happen, let's say, for instance, segregation did come back, I don't think we'll get that far. If I'm being completely honest, I doubt that'll happen. But if it were to, it would almost be reverse segregation, because we're at the point now where like our folk, we might not about to sit up here and play with y'all and act like we less than just because you want to separate.
At all.
It'll be lit. We have all the music, all the food, all the fun.
And then they'll be feeling the way they're already feeling about the votes they fucking cast because they won't have shit to steal.
What are you eating? Pea soup? Who's eating pea soup?
Beans on toast.
That's it.
And like, what are we doing? Potatoes with tuna.
Like 7-layer dip. Like, what are we doing?
Anything where you mix cheese, fruit, and mayonnaise.
Number 3 was the one. It's always mayonnaise.
Yes, they do. They mix cheese, fruit, and mayonnaise and then throw peas in that shit and call it some kind of salad.
That sounds disgusting.
It sounds like it's going to make my stomach hurt.
Oh, some of the videos I have seen on TikTok, there's a dude who's like, shit's getting weird, part infinity. And he talks about white people food. Every single time my face is like this.
I can't do it. And so that's what I'm saying. So if we ever, like I said, if we ever did go that extreme, and that was something that we ended up doing, if anything, I feel like it hurts them. And by them, it's not, I don't even say it this way. I don't even feel like it's the majority of people, non-melanated folks who feel this way. I feel like there's a good group of people that actually do love our contribution to United States culture, whatever it is going to be. It's just them weird folks that think that they're better than anybody just because of the color of your skin, when the reality of it is, and y'all don't want to hear it, y'all are actually the subset of us. We're the original. So
I mean, they're saying there's
you got like those weird folks, and that's a group. I think the bigger, more damaging group is, like you in certain parts of California, it's so mixed. You got all different people. growing up on the East Coast, so make sure you got all these different type of people, and then you got the rest of the United States where it's like, I think the problem is it's white people who they got to somewhere and they're like, holy shit, I've never seen a black person before, and then they treat it like it's a goddamn like we are zoo animals because I've never seen one before. Mm-hmm. And those are the group. I think that's the biggest group of people to worry about because they don't know no fucking better. And they're super anti because why am I gonna give a fuck about somebody who I don't know? Like, I don't know nothing about them. Why am I care about you?
Right.
I know about you from, I watch Menace to Society. I know what it is.
Menace to Society.
I was just watching Tyron Turner on a podcast the other day. It was on my mind.
Yep, that's it. That's us right there.
Yep, every single person and all of the things that make us intricate are all represented in that one show. There you go. All of us,
especially Mr. Bougie Winemaker over here. He's totally represented by Menace to Society.
Absolutely
and utterly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. No, no shot at nobody, but that will happen, right? So yeah, I think, like I said, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, which, like I said, I very much lean towards the dumb side. I don't think folks are dumb enough to try that. But then again, I don't know with all the stuff going on.
But you know what's interesting is I feel like it would almost be some segregation at this point. It would be us being like, you know what, fuck y'all, we finna pull away and do our own thing because we tired.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's where a lot of us are. Like, oh, you actually, like, if this was really a thing for you, oh, you want to do this? Bet, we good. Bye.
Please do. That way you can leave us the fuck alone.
And take
care. And then the problem's going to become, you're not going to do that. This is exactly why Black Wall Street doesn't exist anymore. Because
and that was the other point I was going to make with y'all being the new adults, and then Gen Alpha is off the chain.
Gen Z crazy too.
Yeah, they're Gen Z upped it a little bit, but Gen Alpha is off the damn chain.
Yep, that's my baby.
So if we did pull back and do Black Wall Street and all that stuff now, it's a different subset of people. We ain't letting you come in and flood shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you think that like the tactics that were in the past, they absolutely will not work again. Mm-hmm. We are
right.
Like, as a group of people, I can't remember. I remember reading this in an article somewhere one time. But like Black folks in general, she didn't say Black folks, really people of color, over the last 30 years have gotten more education than any other subgroup in the United States. So to think that you about to sit here and play this game with us again, when we are one of the most educated people, like I have an MBA. I'm about to go back and go get my doctorate degree, right? I'm 36 years old. Like, I'm still pretty young, right? And I'm about to have a whole doctor. You're gonna call me Dr. Bowers too. Next time I'm on McCrazy's place and I got my doctorate, you're gonna call me Dr. B the entire time, and I'm just gonna sit here. I'm probably gonna have a hat on too. I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna figure that out. No, not a fedora.
Not with a feather. The feather placement.
My boom. Actually, maybe I'll get a hat made and it'll just say Dr. B up front.
I hate you.
Anyway, but yeah, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, we are so educated now. To think that you can play that kind of game, it's not,
man.
Because not only do we have the education, there's a level that we have in us that's just intuitive that you will never be able to beat.
Ever. The emotional intelligence that we have is often, but a lot of that is generational trauma. You have to have emotional intelligence to be able to navigate the mind traps, like the minefield.
Right. So my head of school, the one that I'm sitting underneath right now, love him. He's amazing, right? Before we went on spring break, he and I had a conversation. And this was one of the things he was talking about. He's like, the level of emotional intelligence you have, he's like, it kind of like blows. He's like, it blows my mind. He's like, I watch how you walk around places. He's like, I watch how you navigate the room and who you talk to and how you talk to them and how you deal with them. And it was like, I don't see that in a lot of people anymore. So the fact that you have that is amazing. And I told him too, and I was like,
just every day being a Black person.
Well, and that's what I tried to tell him without trying to say it that way. But I was just like, I have to learn how to navigate these spaces. This idea, like code switching, it is a real thing for our community. And so I got to know when I can be me on McCrazy's place and just say what I really want to say versus I'm walking into a corporate environment and I got to kind of shield what I'm saying, but make maybe the blow a little bit softer, right?
Let's be real. You got to make sure you don't make the white folks uncomfortable.
Oh, well, I don't care about that either anymore.
No, but I mean, that's what it really is. That's what code switching really comes down to. You can't make the white folks uncomfortable.
I just don't want to make you too uncomfortable. You can be uncomfortable because the reality of it is, if I'm saying something, that's you. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but the way they, you come off as a problem because of that attitude. You know that.
I know. And look, I know. All of a sudden, your issue because of how you feel is now my problem. You making me the bad guy? Bet. Cool. Heard.
But that's how they do. That's how they roll.
Code switch is so not funny to me, but like the things that just come so natural to us, and some people have to learn. I sat on a call with a younger math teacher, and he proceeded to talk about getting drunk over the weekend. And just the way he talked, I said, "Oh my God, that is really white. Like
the privilege."
That's some white shit. Like it was just so foreign. Like, oh, you are allowed to talk the same in all of your spaces.
Yeah.
And they don't have to code switch. It made me feel uncomfortable. Like for him, I'm like, damn, well, shit.
Right. well, all right.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? Because clearly,
audacity, as they say, right? Like,
but it's true. But I think, like I said, I think that is one of the superpowers of being somebody with melanin. The fact that we do understand in certain ways, in certain areas, we can say certain things, and in certain areas, we can't. But I also, like I said, I think that goes back kind of what you were saying earlier, Christina, like the idea of dealing with the trauma, not even just us, but like our ancestors and the folks that before us. Like, there's a reason why they taught us code switching.
Mm-hmm.
Because they understood there was necessity to it. You act one way with folks because that's all they understand how we can do. But when you're at home or you with your friends or you with somebody else, like, you can be you, right? I mean, the fact that we even have to code switch.
Or the saying, don't act up in front of company.
Right. I mean, which even, like I said, my parents growing up, they used to say that's like to me all the time. And I didn't understand it for a long time. And now that I'm a little bit older, I'm like, oh, I get it now. Because it's not even necessarily like before I thought it was an embarrassment to them. That's why they didn't want it. It has nothing to do with me or the parents. It has everything to do with you as the child. So it's like all these things that I'm learning, like now that, I'm I won't even say an old dad because I'm not old dad, maybe semi-young dad. All these things that I just never thought about that I'm seeing now with my kid where I'm like, dang, I get it now. Parents like heard.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's eye-opening as hell.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because me being raised by a white woman, the way I was taught to navigate life is the way that a white woman would navigate life. And so I didn't understand. I was the oldest child. I was by the book. I didn't like getting in trouble. I'm following the rules. I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And not understanding why I'm not getting the results that I'm supposed to get. Well, it's because.
Yeah. You playing the wrong game.
But I didn't know that until I grew up.
That's because all your blackness is being shown. That's why.
Yeah, like I didn't understand why I would do all the things and it wouldn't pan out the way that it was supposed to until later when I was like, oh yeah, because when I walk into a room, I look like this.
Yeah, I'm not known to carry that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm quote unquote safer, supposedly, because I'm lighter complected and because I can code switch to a fucking T, I'll tell you.
Hey, you had them folks doing for years, so absolutely.
So, yeah, I worked in corporate finance for 15 years. Come on now. I can do it.
Yep.
But that's why I got out of corporate finance, because I was like, this is some bullshit.
It's exhausting.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
I don't want to.
Please don't make me do it again. Please no.
Man. And that's kind of where this podcast came from, was like, I want to be able to fucking have a space where I could be me and talk to people and just fucking be authentically real and say what I want to say, even though still can't say all the things I want to say because I'm still salty about not being able to say it.
No, that's just what you have to do. You got to create a Patreon and you got to do like a McCrazy After Dark, and then that's where you can say all the things you want to say because they can't stop you there.
We don't want to do McCrazy After Dark. We don't want unhinged. We want unhinged, unmedicated McCrazy.
Yeah, we might go. Maybe one episode.
It's like once a month, right? That's a special. That's a holiday special.
Right.
Yeah,
once a quarter. Unhinged.
Day after Thanksgiving.
Y'all get like half hinged. Y'all don't get fully unhinged.
I know. I'd like to meet unhinged, Christina, because she can meet unhinged Tony, and they're probably going to be best friends.
I mean,
actually, unhinged Tony, his name is Antoine. So there's that. So that if that gives you any indication of, there you go.
Antoine.
Yep. Antoine. Yep.
Oh,
so
shit.
You have Anthony, who's the educator. You have Tony, who's like every day, and you got Antoine when I gotta be a YN. I'm gonna say it that way. Woo. Let me go find a shiny real quick. Antoine is on his way.
Completely and utterly fair.
Yep. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, nobody sees him. He's usually locked up somewhere. But if I do ever let him out because I feel the value in it, be scared.
You sound like me with the Gemini twin. I'd be like, y'all don't understand. I'm a Gemini. Don't let that other twin out.
Because if you let him out, like, you don't understand what's coming for you.
I'll go back and put him back in.
Right.
That part.
Thank you. That school understands what happened.
Trust me, if you push me to the point where that twin comes out, you ain't gonna like it.
That school understands what happened when you let the twin come out.
Man, I was literally telling my other co-host the thing is, part of growing up in my mom, who's a white woman, is also a narcissist, and she's also mean. Like, that's just her demeanor. And so we grew up with mean. So like, working through therapy, one of the things I worked on was dismantling my normal state of being, just being mean.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you get to that other twin, I don't think you understand the level of mean that she has, because I try to really not go there if I don't have to.
If I get to the point where that other twin is out, I'm going to watch the world burn, and I don't really care at that point.
Look, I'm gonna set the shit on fire and then watch it burn.
Right, while it burns,
it's gonna be me. I'm gonna be the one who set the fire.
We'll be laughing while it burns.
Yep. Like,
and then be like, y'all asked for it. So
what was that movie? Batman Begins. You remember when the Joker, when he was riding in the car and he had his like head out the window and like all the things going with the cop car? Yeah. That's Antoine. That's the best way I can describe him.
That's fair.
If you let this dude out, what did Alfred say? There's some people in the world that sometimes they just want to watch the world burn. That's him. That's why he don't come out often. But if I let him out, he gonna get done what he need to get done.
Look, I don't want it to burn, but if you get me to the point where I don't care, it's going to burn, and I'm gonna enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. But like I said, he only comes out maybe once every like 5 or 6 years. When somebody just does something so egregious that, like, okay, at this point, he's necessary. When you become necessary, okay, now.
See, but the safety on mine is the fact that I never ever want to go to jail. So I try to keep myself just below the point where I'm gonna get myself put in jail.
Prison. You're right.
I need to work on that. I don't know if I'm there yet.
I don't ever want to see I've seen the inside of a jail, but on a tour, not
not in the
I don't ever want to be in there, so I try to keep it on this side of the going to jail line.
Yes, I'm forever 0 to 100. I'm always between 70 and 100 on the good side. Like, that's just where I am. I may hit the 70, but I'm not going to do it. If I ever get below 70, oh God, this is why therapy is important. Like what you're saying, this is why I talk to my therapist, and I'm like, I'm not crazy. No, you're not. Okay, cool. Heard, understand all the time. Because I got to make sure I keep my psyche, I keep my mind together. Because once again, if Antoine get out,
man,
yeah, like I said, he's been out once with you. You can see how he can be, Christina.
I've seen some glimpses. I know my friend.
I know. I feel like that was the moment where you were just like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, and don't ever let my twin and your twin hook up. We're gonna destroy the universe.
That'd be a party for the ages.
When I tell you that's probably Thanos, half of everything done.
Man,
oh,
I'm saying.
I've always said that. I'm like, please don't ever let me find somebody that like my wife does. Jazz understands my crazy, and she knows when I'm going there. Christina is probably the only other person that understands my crazy. Don't let us be crazy at the same time.
Man.
Oh my God.
Look, we got a taste, but still had to have some decorum because we hooked up before, and look what we did.
Exactly.
So,
and that was him still being nice about things. That wasn't him fully like.
No, because we kept it professional.
Yeah.
Because once again, code switching.
Right.
Funny how that works.
Right. But I did get called an angry black woman in that instance. So, that's always a fun addition.
At least you weren't ambivalent. So,
Right. That's right. You were ambivalent. I was an angry black woman.
Yeah. Sorry, Barrett. We're trauma bonding right now.
It's all good. I love it.
Barrett knows a little more than you think he knows, because even though I ain't supposed to talk about it, Barrett and I were friends at school, so he knows a little bit.
Yep.
He knows a little something.
The way I've learned about the world. Oh, y'all want to be crazy? I'm gonna hit you where it hurts. Give me that pocketbook.
Look.
Don't play with me.
Oh my God. All right. We are at an hour and 11. You guys I'm so glad you guys came on. Thank you guys again for joining me. Well, us.
For having us.
I do. I refer to myself as we a lot because, the twins. But it does. It confuses people sometimes because I'll be like, no, we don't do that. And they're like, who's we? Me, but still.
Me, but we. But we, but me. Right. Hurts.
So thank you for joining us at McCrazy's Place.
Thank you for joining us, plural, at McCrazy's Place, singular. Perfect. Love it. Great way.
Look, my name ain't McCrazy for no reason.
You're like, I didn't just make that up one day.
This thing's gonna come out of nowhere. All right.
It doesn't just fit perfectly just by coincidence.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you guys for coming out. I always enjoy talking to each of you together and individually. Barrett, maybe I'll come see you at some point. I don't know. I'll think about it. I don't really like to come out the house.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because the school is less than 5 miles from the house.
I mean, I feel like you should. It's 5 miles. Go out and pop out and see your boy, and then just go.
I did pop up on him not too long ago. What was that, last month? I did. I just popped up just to say hi to Barrett. Everybody else at the school, I got a lot of other. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. Oh, you too. Where's Barrett?
Right. Where my homie? Where you at?
That's who I came to see. Where's Barrett?
Here.
Anyway, once again, if this is your first time joining us, thank you for joining us. If you are returning, thank you for the support. This has been another fantastic episode of McCrazy's Place. You know what I always say, go forward with kindness and love, and most importantly, empathy. See you guys next month.